Hello, lovelies. Hello, peeps. This is Kimberly Purpose, and welcome to my channel. Today, I wanted to do another interesting video. This time, I want to talk about the final moments of Incan child, Mummy's lives reveals. I got this idea from a couple of YouTubers. One was a Touchiness one. I believe he touched on this topic, and also I think her name is T Zion today. Both of them touched on this topic, and I wanted to talk about it too. I found this article quite interesting. I know this mummy was discovered um, a few years ago, but I thought it was interesting because of the hair, the mini brain that the mummy had. I found that to be fascinating. That's similar to the hair and the style that we do today. You see a lot of us American Aborigines wearing the similar hairstyles. She's a beautiful mummy. It looks like she's just sleeping. But this article was written by Joseph Castro and is published in Life Science. And in the picture, it says 3 Inca mummies sacrificed 500 years ago were regularly given drugs and alcohol before their death, particularly the eldest child, called the maiden, shown above, to make them more compliant, researchers have found. Wow. Okay, this is really interesting. Let's see what the article says. It says 3 children were sacrificed 500 years ago and were regularly given drugs and alcohol in their final months to make sure they were compliant to the ritual that was ultimately killed them. New research suggests the archaeologists analyzed the samples from the frozen mummies of the 3 children who were discovered in 1999. Okay, so it's been a while. Entombed within a shrine near 22,100 feet, 6,739 meters, summit of the Argentinian volcano. The samples revealed that all 3 children consistently consumed coca leaves, from which cocaine is derived. The alcoholic beverage, but the oldest child, framed the maiden, ingested markedly more of the substance. Coca was highly controlled substance during the height of the Inca Empire, where the children were sacrificed. Wow. This goes into detail about what happened to the children. And this particular article goes through the whole process and the ritual that they went through. It'd be interesting to understand more about this. And I guess I still can't get over her hair. Her hair is in many twists, in many braids, and you can see the outfit of what they wore back then. This is really interesting. Looks like she's still sleeping. It was well preserved. And it says here, the evidence combined with other archaeological radiological data suggests that the maiden was treated very differently from the other 2 children. And it says the boy and the lightning girl, so-called named by the researchers, became the mummies, appear to have been struck by lightning. After being selected for the deadly rite, the maiden likely underwent a type of status change, becoming an important figure of empire. The other 2 children may have served as her attendants. And then, of course, this shows you the picture of the child mummies. I'm not going to click on it, but I'm going to stroll on down. They have other ads on here. I'm sorry about that, you guys. And it says here the maiden became somebody other than who she was before, said the study lead, author Andrew Wilson, an archaeologist at the University of Bradford in the UK. That was seen as an honor. All righty. Interesting. Some of these findings were sort of speculation. They don't know exactly for sure exactly what took place. But I'm assuming that these were sort of speculations and what they're suggesting just to happen during the time period. Then it goes on and says here, the hair analysis. To learn about the real moment of the mummy's life, scientists sometimes turn to hair samples, which provide a record of the substance that was circulating in the blood and the hair forms. And because the hair grows in a relatively constant rate, it can provide a kind of timeline of what a person consumed. The length of time depends on the length of the hair available. Wow. And then here it goes into the diet and what they ate, which is interesting. They said in 2007, Wilson and colleagues analyzed the child's mummy hair to understand their diet change over the time. They found that the children came from a pheasant background, and the diet consists of mainly commonly vegetables, potatoes in particular. But in the year leading up to the deaths, they eat elite food, including maize and dried llama meat, and appear to have been fattened up in preparation for the sacrifice. Oh, me. Well, this part here talks about where they did a hair analysis. I guess through the hair they can tell exactly what they ate and what they ingested. That's quite interesting. And wow, this is just pretty much talking about the drugs and the stuff that they consumed prior to the sacrifice. Then says the increased drug. I'm skipping on down. I'm gonna have a link to this article, you all, to this articles, so you all can see for yourself. I'm just skipping through. I didn't want to make this too long of a video, but it says here the increase in drugs and alcohols ingested like made the maiden more at ease with her impending death. Wilson said, adding that she was discovered with sizable coca quid, I would say, lumps of chewing in between her teeth, suggesting she was sedated when she died. Oh, man. And it says the researchers discovered the sizable coca squid lump of chewing in between the teeth of the maiden Incan mummy. The child was sedated before she died about 500 years ago. And then here's the up close picture of her, and also the X-ray of her. Wow, interesting. I just love her hair, and it shows the indigenous how indigenous she is. And it says here, the chosen one, the children's spiritual burial conditions. And it says, provided further insight into their final moment. The maiden sat cross-legged and slightly forward in a fairly relaxed body position at the time of her death. She had feathered headdress on her head, elaborate braided hair, and a number of artifacts placed on a textile that draped over her knees. See? Yeah. I guess this is what they did back then. And I think this article mostly talks about the sacrifice some more. And it says, I'm going to skip on down. It says, evidence suggests that imperial rites may have been used in a form of social control. Being selected for rituals was supported and seen as a great honor, but likely produced a climate of fear. In fact, the major offense of the parents to show any sadness after giving up their child for the ceremony. More work on three mummies reveal more about the Inca society and practice of ritual sacrifice. Ugh. Wow, sad they had why they sacrificed the children. Ugh, that is sad. It says the exciting thing about the individuals that they will probably still have more to tell us. Wilson said, locked in their tissues are many stories still to be unfolded. The story was detailed on July in a journal proceeding of the National Academy of Science. Yeah, this article pretty much told you about the ritual and what they did for the sacrifice of these kids, which I guess is quite interesting. But And she strolled further. There's another article down here. It's called the Inca, Made in Inca Mummies Suffered Lung Infection. Now, this one I think is quite interesting. I can't click over to it because I got y'all on the regular screen, but I might do another video um, on some more about the Incas children later on. But I found it interesting that they said that they had lung infection. Um, and the mummies date about 500 years old. And when you think about it, if it's 500 years old, that's around the 1500s, because right now it's 2018. And it was 500 years ago, that was like the 1500s. Probably in the very tail end of beginning of the 1500s. And if these kids got some sort of infection, I wonder if this is in relation to when the gray Caucasians came into the Americas. Because they said that they did come in and bring a lot of viruses and diseases and stuff that the indigenous people had suffered from. It would be interesting to know, is this tied into the time when the Europeans came over? I know the sacrifice is probably traditional, more than likely. It's something that they always done. But with the research showing that she suffered lung infection, some sort of infections, I was wondering if it was one of the diseases or infections that the Europeans brought over, because they did come into the Americas around that time period in which a lot of the natives, the Aborigine Indians, were becoming sick because they weren't immune to these strange diseases. But I can go on and on about this. I just wanted to share this article. I wanted to show her hair and show what she looked like, the Inca Indians, to show that they have a lot of the traditions of the Aborigine Indians, the original Indians that were here in the Americas, the AKA African Americans, which is part of our history as well, which is oftentimes denied, but it's the truth. And the customs of the hair is seen today. A lot of us wearing this hairstyle even to this very day, which I find very interesting and amazing. And I'm gonna leave this and go into more detail about the ritual that took place. And yeah, and I find it interesting on another article, they was talking about how they suffered some sort of infection. So I was wondering if these diseases and infections might have been coming on into these tribes, were they during the time period when the Great Caucasians started coming into the Americas. It would be interesting to know. But I might do another video on it and touch on it some more. But I just want to share this video on about what, pretty much giving you more details about what took place during that time period and how the ritual sacrifice was taken, and show you the mummy, and how it has traces of some of our indigenous roots and heritage, and how some of the customs that they were doing, such as the hair braiding, is very similar to what we do. Except for the sacrifice. We'll do the sacrificing, but with the hair. And she was a lot like a lot of the African Americans today that's wearing the same hairstyles, even to this very day. But please like this video with thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And till next time, peace, family. I also have a Black Junction TV channel. Don't forget to subscribe there. I have a Facebook page. Please like. I also have a group, a community as well that I just started. You're welcome to join. And I also have a PayPal, Patreon, and also a GoFundMe. Till next time, peace, family, and be blessed. Bye bye.